know, one of the things that we want to talk about now is project management. If you've ever done a home improvement project and tried to manage it yourself.
Was that when it looks like Mythbusters were there to do the design and
it went poof? Yes. Yeah, because it could really, I mean, if you don't really know what you're doing, it could poof in your face, and it could look exactly like the remnants of after the explosion, because not everybody is skilled in each particular area that you may want to remodel, and you may think that you can do it, you know what you want. However, you need some professional people to go back and actually help guide those creative ideas into something that you know at the very end will look really well. And we've got our creative team with us here today. Our master critic, Dan Hayden from the EC Building Consultants.
Hey, I'll blow it up if it doesn't work.
Steve Gretchen from Crazy Paint, and our queen of color, Kimberly Layton from the Color Design Group, and she is our resident project manager when it comes to starting with the color part of it and putting it all together. Kimberly, tell us a little bit about the process and what you do in the coordination of a project management and taking all those creative ideas from an energetic homeowner and bringing them into something that's completed in a great,
That's a great question. So on this particular one, it started out with you know, the owners having an idea and a theme, and us, you know, coming up with some ideas and then laying it right into some photography work that our company specializes in doing. And then when we started pulling in all the different contractors, they all had some other additional ideas too. And so what we were able to do—
When did a contractor not have another idea?
Yeah. And so what we were able to do is say, oh, let's take a look at that idea and let's render it into the photo and see if that's the direction we want to go. Because there was at one time we were thinking that where the two windows are, we were going to put some sort of wall emblem instead of the tile flutes that we came up with. So we started somewhere where, and it led down a path, and then we kind of come down, you know, see what's possible and what's not possible. And then really, I think what's great about having a team and actually seeing the possibilities is coordinating all of the different companies that have to come in and do their part in it, and when. Because we have great ideas, but sometimes it's coordinating which comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Exactly, exactly. And one of the great things that really I've seen homeowners make a lot of mistakes is where they think that they want to start here, but then when they have to do another phase, they come back in and all of a sudden, oh my God, why did I do this one first? Now I've got to go back in the second one affects the first one, and then the fifth one.
And you end up tearing out number one to get number three done.
Yeah, and you're jumping around like this, and you're wasting money, you're wasting time. Not only that, it's frustrating. Sure. So in the long run, you may think, well, I'll save money and I'll do it myself. But you know as well as I do, when we go in and we do projects together, much like the Marconi Ranch project, you have ideas, you share the big picture with the contractor, meaning moi, and we talk about it, and we say, here are possibilities, this is the way they want to go. I look at the more physical things and say, this looks possible, this isn't, this is what we're going to have to do to get here. And then this way, we can create that roadmap to make it something that we can present to the homeowner, say, okay, this is your vision, this is where we came up with, and this is how we think we can get there along the way.
And more importantly, sometimes the budget, and how about the timeline? All those things are, those things take place.
Budget and timeline are so very important, because the vision could be like a kid going into a candy store. Oh, I want all this, and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, we can't do that because you only said you had this much. The one thing that I think is very important for homeowners to actually know about is that you need to be able to talk to professionals about the type of project that you want to do, as well as general cost involved. Unless, of course, you found a neighbor who did something similar, and then you get an idea of a base that you can start with. A lot of times, homeowners base their base amount on what they only have. And that's a lot of times, not only in work that you do, but in a lot of the other stuff that Image Home Improvement, the remodeling company does, that they have a false sense of base. I only have this much money, so it must cost this much. That's not the case at all.
Right. Right. Well, even when it comes to selecting products, because, you know, there's always a good, better, best system, and we can start with the best. And, you know, and on this particular project, you know, we have more that's going to happen at a later date, but, you know, we're able to finish what the stucco, the painting, the corbels, the flutes, all the fun stuff. And then later down the road, we've got this whole front, you know,
the fountain,
the landscape, the hardscape, and all the other things, the pony wall that we're going to create more of a sitting area in their home. And I think what's nice is that we can see where it's going, and we've done it in stages where it's still a finished product along the way.
Yeah, it's like ice. It's like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But you've created a vision that you don't have to go back and change when you add to it, or the next phase of the project that you've already thought through. Yep. And so it's very efficient and cost effective by having those steps done in advance. And then you can budget through those steps and not have to do them twice.
And it's not pieced together. It's more, you know, it's been an amazing project and a great learning experience.
Think it through to get it to fit.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that we want to touch base on before we go to break again and stress is that call the professional. Make sure you call the professional so that this way you can understand what needs to be done. More importantly, what's involved in each one of those steps, because a lot of times when, you know, people walk in, and they look at something and it's finished, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, what went into that? A lot of homeowners don't understand what goes into each step, so they can evaluate and make the connection. This much work, this much money.
Yep.
And that will bring it all together.
Yep. I think a plan is always the best way to go. Knowing how you're going to get to point A to point B, and then having point B kind of visually spelled out so that you know where you're driving to.
I think we're going to add some new titles to our business cards, the project professionals.
Yeah.
And if you are interested in doing a project and you want to consult a professional, we've got all the professionals right here for all your home improvement needs. Kimberly, how can our viewers contact you?
Sure. We can be reached at 480-251-7757 or colordesignllc.com.
And if you want to call in and get your project done, call us at 1-800-ASK-A-PRO. That's 1-800-275-2776. And there's also additional information on our show website at imagehomeimprovementshow.com.